opinion. All right. Well, tonight we're going to be going over video first. Get you going on that for those who have issues. Then we're going to be going over texture background for week 4, action buttons, and hyperlinked objects. We'll do the in-class exercise in that order. The first thing I want to do is go over schedule stuff first between now and next week before we get into the video. So let's do that real quick. Okay. So this is week 4. Next week is a final class. You'll be presenting your final presentation to each other. Tonight we're going to help you finalize up through week 4 of information. We'll be adding the tools to your knowledge of texture background, action buttons, and hyperlink objects. And then the in-class exercise. So that's what we'll be doing tonight in that order. We'll customize a texture background to add to your capstone, add an action button to start up a calculator, the calculator application in Windows, add an action button to do a mouse over event and it'll open up a website, and add a hyperlink to an existing picture. And I'll show you an example of one in just a second of the final example. As always, we have a beginning class file there on number 1 that you'll start with, an ending finished example. You'll be opening up week 4, saving it as your first initial last name on the desktop, and then we'll be doing slides 11, 13, and 15, adding the features required there in the note of each slide. And then we'll upload the completed in-class exercise when we're finished. Next week, here's the agenda. I kind of want to touch base. You'll come to class. You'll find the computer in your row that has working speakers. There's usually one of them on each row that does. I'll probably have them marked with a sticky note or something so you'll know which one it is. You will have a CD that I'll give you, because the first thing you're going to do is package your presentation to CD. I'll show you how to do that the first thing. You'll also print 4-slide page for notes. We'll do that also at the beginning of class. And then you'll present your presentation to each person in your group. Then finally, number 5, you'll fill out a CIS124 peer evaluation on each other for each person in your group after you've all presented. And then you'll turn in the CD and the rubric, and I will grade and return both back to you when you leave. Your final grade will be on the rubric itself and circled. Okay, so when you leave, you'll have your final grade with you. So let's go ahead and start with the video first. I want to kind of run through some issues you probably had, and then help you to where you can understand how to do it. And this is being recorded, so you can watch it later. Now, we mentioned last or 2 weeks ago that not every final is going to need a video. But it's good to know how to do it if you want to be able to import a video, okay? And so I'm going to show you in the next 5 minutes. If you'll watch on the overhead just how I do it, I'll run you through it. And then we'll do it one more time with you downloading the video and importing it into PowerPoint successfully. I just did one the last 8 minutes while we were sitting here. Successfully downloaded a YouTube video, converted it to WMV, and imported it to a slide. I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's go ahead, and if you'll watch on the overhead, like I said, about 5 minutes to do this. So let me go back to our website or our course site. And week 3, I believe, is where the instructions were. I'll go back to that. The week 3 download and convert YouTube video to WMV. The step-by-step. Firefox was the first thing you needed to do. The second one, I think, is where everybody's having issues, is this best video downloader. And the Convert Lite is a program, this one right here, that actually converts the MP4 to a WMV made for PowerPoint, and that's what that one does. And then that allows you to basically embed that PowerPoint or that video into the PowerPoint to where you're able then to play that video.
U.S. Senate hopeful Barack Obama has big plans for funding higher
education
at Rock Valley. He outlined his plan.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the first step, which is Firefox. Okay, this is going to be an easier way to do it maybe for some of you than what the first way I had you download that program. So once you downloaded the newest, you have to have the newest version of Firefox to do what I'm doing, because I'm working on the newest version here at home. So you might jot that down or just watch this later when you get home. The newest version of Firefox, when you download it, go back to the very home page of it here. Is going to have an area in the tools area to be able to implement. I got to click on the home button first. You click on the home button in the new version of Firefox, it brings you to a page like this where you can search, and then at the bottom it has all these new buttons down here on this new version, and it has a button called add-ons. Okay, this is the new version now. They've changed it a little bit. All you do, type in the top right section of the add-ons the word YouTube and hit enter. And I've already installed mine, but it's the first one that comes up, which is Flash Video Downloader, the YouTube downloader 3.80. Download it again.
So then you install that.
Yeah, well, let me make sure I've got the right one. It's Easy YouTube Downloader, I'm sorry. Easy YouTube Downloader is the actual name of it. So if you hit search YouTube, make sure and click on extensions. That'll be easier for you. Notice I only have 2 responses on extensions. Easy YouTube Video Downloader. And I'm guessing most of you already have the brand new version of Firefox like I'm working on, right? And I think that's where the disconnect was possibly on the video. If you don't have the newest version, you'll need the newest version to do what I'm doing, okay? One of the problems with software, if you don't already know, is when they do updates, they change things. And they change where buttons are and where things are located. So, YouTube for the search, hit search, and you want to do the YouTube, Easy YouTube Video Downloader 6.6. Once you install it, you're then ready to go to YouTube to begin downloading. So let me go to youtube.com. I'm going to type in as a search. In fact, you can type in whatever you're searching for your project. I'm just going to type Rock Valley College. And I believe the first one is a video of when Barack Obama came to campus here. All right, so I'm going to click on this video. You'll notice here in the bottom of the video there's a download button here. Everybody see that? When you click on the download button, you have different options to download. You do not want to choose.
Stay sharp. I take care of my body.
You do not want to choose the best quality one. I would suggest anything but that. Like the MP4, you want to do MP4 something. So don't do quality because that might take a little longer to download and it might be kind of choppy in the PowerPoint, I found out. So if you do the MP4, in this one the highest quality besides best quality is this 360p. All right, so make sure it's an MP4, highest quality, but not the best quality. All right, some of yours might have an option for MP4 3 or 720 as well. Well, I'm going to choose this one here, this MP4 360. It might take a little bit to prompt you to download it. You want to go ahead and save it. Now on Windows and Firefox, it has its own download folder in Firefox to use. What I suggest is once it downloads it successfully, like mine just did here, In Firefox, it pops up a download dialog like this one here. If you click on the one you just downloaded and then right-click on it, so I left-clicked to highlight it, right-clicked to see this prompt, I can select Open Containing Folder. What that's going to do is bring it to the Firefox download folder where that video was downloaded. Okay? So you'll notice here, there's my download folder, there's the video, and to make it easier for you, what I suggest to do is take this video and you can copy and paste it, or you can just click and drag it to your desktop environment. Make sure it made it there. There it is. So I put it on my desktop just to make sure it's easily found. Then that program that you were to download, Convert Lite, once you download that Convert Lite, it should look like this here, and after you've installed it. Let me go ahead and clear everything out to where it's kind of where it is when you guys use it at home. You click the Add button, you browse out to find the video. I just put it on the desktop. There's a Barack Obama video that's 1:24. I'm going to open it. Confirm that the video is right before you go any further, that the name is correct and the path is correct. And here's the other part you need to make sure you have. Convert to WMV is what you want. Make sure you've selected WMV. The second one is the device preset. Make sure it's set to PowerPoint, otherwise it will be choppy, the audio will cut out, the video can cut out, and stop it altogether sometimes on the playback. Okay? So make sure it is set to PowerPoint. The output video folder, you can leave where it's at. It's just going to put it in the Documents folder of your computer, or you could redirect it back down to the desktop. I'll leave it where it's at in the Download folder. Then I'm ready to click the Convert button. Once I click the Convert button, this black screen will pop up, and it'll start rendering that video. You'll see at the bottom it's doing some activity there. At the end of the activity, it'll say press any key to continue. It'll complete that rendering. It won't take too long. If you have I think I suggested you guys a video, try to find videos around 1 minute to 2 minutes in length. That's a good length to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit any key to continue, go to my PowerPoint. Let me delete the one I put in here earlier. And I'm going to go to the Insert Media Clip on a slide, a content, title and content slide. And then go to my Documents folder where that was found. Make sure I have the one I just created, 744. Here we go. That one there. Insert it. Now let's go ahead and test it to make sure it's working. Shift F5.
U.S. Senate hopeful Barack Obama has big plans for funding higher education in Illinois. At Rock Valley College, he outlined his plan to expand the federal Pell Grant program.
I propose to do this by restructuring the way our college loan system is set up, and more specifically, cutting out the subsidies that these loan programs currently provide to banks and other private lenders.
Obama is proposing an end to all federal loan programs that pay subsidies to banks and private lenders, and instead, all federal loan programs would come directly from the government.
If Congress required that all student loans be administered directly through the direct loan program, the government gives the money directly to you, as opposed to subsidized.
Okay, that's the end of the video. Okay, so from start to finish, that's how you complete it. Now we're going to do it together. So we're going to do it step by step just like I did it here. First thing I need you to do is make sure you're in Firefox on your computer, number one. So go ahead and start up Firefox. And I'm guessing you guys probably don't have the newest version, so we can play around with that. I believe in your version, there should be on the top right a Tools button maybe. Is there a Tools area on the top right area somewhere? Do you see it?
Up in the ribbon on the top left.
Top left. Top left Tools. And then you have an area in there called Add-ons. Okay, let's do that. So start up Firefox on your computer. We'll do that first. We'll get the video downloaded. We'll install the Convert Lite program and do the conversion. Okay, now do it. Next thing I want to do is switch gears and go over tonight's in-class exercise. And you could be doing this while I'm going over on the overhead. It's in week 4. And you need to download where it says week 4 in-class exercise. You need to download the week 4. Once you download it, make sure and open it up, do a save as, first initial last name on your desktop as always, and then this is the finished example. To save confusion, let's just download the week 4 first, okay? And then we can download the next one later if you need to. So go ahead and do that, open it up, save it onto your desktop, first initial last name.
Week 4, you said it's going to be all week 4. So in-class exercise?
Yeah, the in-class exercise one. Under number 1 where it says download below files,
In-class exercise, download that
only do the week 4 one. Leave the Conca one alone. That's the finished example I'm going to show you in just a second. But what we're going to do while you're doing that, we're going to show you how to customize a textured background, add an action button to start up a calculator within Windows, add an action button to start up a mouse over that uses a mouse hover event to open up a website, and then lastly, add a hyperlink to an existing picture. And these are all things that you can use in PowerPoint during a presentation. Like for instance, if the presentation is on some type of calculations, you can embed what we're doing tonight, an action button to start up a calculator. That way you don't have to, do an Alt-Tab or minimize PowerPoint to start up calculator. You can literally embed action buttons on any slide in PowerPoint to do whatever Windows function you want to do. Start an application, go to a website, whatever, play a video externally. So like tonight, I showed you guys how to insert a video, right? You could actually create an action button to run a video or to play a video, like maybe a QuickTime video or maybe a MP4 video that PowerPoint doesn't like to play. You can actually link it to that video on your computer and play it within QuickTime using an action button. That's one thing I've done before in the past. You can launch external applications like Excel spreadsheets, other PowerPoint files, you name it, MP3s, whatever it is you need to launch, you can launch with action buttons. And the key you need to remember on action button is the word custom action button. You probably know by now I don't like any template type stuff at all. And so same with action buttons. Stay away from any template type of actions, meaning prefab, pre-built. You want to make sure what you want is what you want, or what you get, I guess. And sometimes with these, some of the action buttons, the prefab ones, you get 90% of what you want and then 10% of what you don't want. All right? And that's a lot of stuff with Microsoft does that. They think that you want this, basically. Like when you're typing a document and it's always spell checking a word that you're like, no. And you have to add that to your dictionary. Bless you. And so same thing with custom buttons or custom action buttons. I always recommend customizing it. And so you'll learn how to do that tonight. And then also hyperlinking. Hyperlinking is anything that's an object on your slide, a picture, a text box, a clip art. You can make those items action buttons as well, or you can make them hyperlinked to where when you hover over a picture, it literally goes to an album on the website, like say for Flickr or something like that, your family album. And just by hovering the mouse over an object, you can do an action. You don't even have to click on anything. And that's kind of cool too. I've done that where create a PowerPoint that you give to your family members or associates, and it has different objects on the PowerPoint slide, and each object could be an example. In the past I've done is an object representing a product line that a company's selling, and when they hover their mouse over that object, it launches a web page that gives more information, or it launches a video or a sound clip. And so you can do whatever it is creative wise, sky's the limit what you can do with it. And what's great about it is once you create an action on a PowerPoint, it does carry over from computer to computer. And so if you were to move it tonight to your computer after creating an action button, it's going to bring that over to all versions of PowerPoint. Because action buttons really haven't changed much over the years. Since I'd say probably 10 years. They've been the same. No real change. It's a good thing. They've changed locations of where to bring in action buttons, but as far as the function, it's all been the same. Now, if you think about it, it can be dangerous as well for just a second, okay? If, for instance, you get a PowerPoint from somebody and it has an action button that fires, let's say, a virus, for an example, they could do that easily. Now, you'll see tonight, though, the first time you run an action to run the calculator, it'll warn you. It'll say, hey, this is running a program that could be a virus or could be, a warning of some type. Do you want to continue? And that's a good thing they've added in there, but most people do what when they see a button like that anyway? Let's click it. Let's click it. All right. Yeah, well, what harm could it do? Erase my hard drive? And so just be careful whenever you see an action like that, and make sure whoever created it, if you don't know about it before they send it to you, say, hey, John, what's this action button for? I see it pop up. They might say, oh, it's just a video we did for this whatever. Oh, okay. Just to confirm that John did put it in there. Because of what you can do that's cool with macros and built-in buttons, it also can be malicious. It could be malicious in nature as well. And so just be aware of that when you're getting PowerPoint files from people. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you a finished example here, and then we'll have you guys start at it. I'm going to start right with the slide we're going to be on, which is slide 11. And let me go ahead and play that one. Okay, so my progressive disclosure coming in. We did that. There's my two action buttons, calculator and set up Wi-Fi router. This one's going to launch a calculator. This one's going to launch the website on how to set up a Wi-Fi router. So let me go ahead and click on this calculator. Now I've already accepted the prompt I talked about earlier. I've already accepted the warning prompt, so I'm not going to get it again. Once you accept it the first time on that computer, it doesn't ask you again. So you guys will get a warning prompt. So there's my calculator. I can do my calculations right here as PowerPoint's running in the background. When I close it out, I'm right back on the slide. Same thing with the website. I think I have this one set to click event. I can left click on it and it'll start up that browser. Maybe I don't. I was playing with this earlier. There we go. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and put something in there right now. Get rid of that one, add another one in. Okay, so I'm going to add a shape. You guys are going to do this in a second. All the way down the very bottom in action buttons, custom. I'll launch Google. Okay, so here I want to mouse over. I'm going to hyperlink it to a URL. I'll just go ahead and put in here for right now, google.com. And put in some text here. Good. Now I'll go ahead and play that. Okay, so now when I just hover over that button, it launches google.com. So there's Google. Again, I'll do it again. I'll show it. Look how fast it is on this launch. Let me close everything out here. Now watch. I'm just going to move my mouse ever so slowly towards the Google button. and then it launches the web page just by hovering over that action button. And then once, whatever URL I put in there, it would launch that website. So, there it is. All right. Now let me just show you real quick before we actually have you do this. I'm going to show you some other options it gives you here. The one we're doing on this one is mouse over to google.com. This one should be none. But notice the different options you can do with a action. I can hyperlink to a next slide, previous slide, but look as we go down, a URL, other PowerPoint presentations, or any other file type I have on my computer. Doesn't matter what file type it is, it'll open it up. If Windows will open it up, it will let me point to it. I can also run a program. The one we're going to use tonight is Calculator, which I already know the Windows name for that is just CALC, because a lot of built-in Windows apps have names that you can basically just, if you do this on your computer right now, actually, go ahead and click on the Start button on your computer, everybody. Go ahead and click on the Start button on your computer with your mouse. As soon as you click on the Start button on your computer, where it says Start or Search Programs and Files, go ahead and type in the word CALC and then hit the Enter key. Okay? CALC, hit the Enter key, and it's going to launch Calculator. You can also do that with Notepad. Just type in Notepad. Microsoft Word is MS Word. Excel is Excel. And so there's a lot of different short names that you can launch programs, just how I just showed you how to do it easily within Windows. Okay? But if you don't know the program name, you can browse out, like I'm doing here, and actually go to your C drive, program files, and then any application that you want to open up, it will let you open up. So if I wanted to open up any other program, I can open it up here using the executable button there. So if I wanted to open up, for instance, QuickTime, okay, QuickTime Player, notice it gives a full path to QuickTime Player. If I want to open up something else, like say I wanted to open up, like we're going to do tonight, Calculator, CALC, will open up Calculator. So that's one thing you can do. You can also play a sound whenever you hover over, or a mouse click. You can do the applause, all the built-in sounds you have that we played with here. You can also, other sound, you can browse out to your computer and find an MP3 file or something like that you wanted to bring in. So that's on the mouse click. I'm going to set that back to none.
You just hit OK, and then the applause will stay on there?
It's just while that action is occurring. So while you click on that mouse, the action occurs. When you go away from that button, the action stops. Or I guess you lift your mouse button up, the action will stop.
How did you put
Well, we've not done it yet. I'm just showing you what to do. We're going to do this together in the actual in class, okay? Do what now?
My screen flipped to power up installing updates.
Okay, go ahead and cancel that out if you can.
Control Alt Delete.
Computer restarting. Okay, you're going to just sit there and hold tight. It won't take too long. Okay? Okay. If your computer, by the way, wants to restart, it tells you, Windows will tell you when it's getting ready to restart. It will say starting in 5 seconds sometimes, or 10 seconds. Go ahead and cancel it out if that happens to you guys. Okay, so that's slide 11 what we're going to do tonight. And then the next is slide 13. We're going to learn how to do a texture background like this. Texture backgrounds are really easy to do. Right-click, format the background, and then you can select pattern fill, or you could select picture or text. But we're going to do pattern fill and select a different pattern background. Tonight when you're playing with it, if you want to do a picture text and click on the texture one, you may do that as well. Okay? And all it's going to do is what we're doing here. Just make sure when you do this one, if it's for one slide we're going to do tonight, do not hit apply to all because it will apply that to all slides.
Where did you find that again?
You just right click on the PowerPoint slide and go to format background.
Okay, got it.
Okay? Then the last one is hyperlink. On slide 15, we're going to do that one together in just a second. You highlight a picture of your choosing. We're going to do the question mark here. Right click and hyperlink. And then you put in the URL that you want. Okay? Down here at the bottom where it says address. But notice on the overhead, I can also hyperlink to other things. I can hyperlink to an email address. I can put an email address in, subject line, and then click OK. I can create a new document. It'll actually let me create a new document here when this picture is clicked on. Okay, it'll actually click on the new it'll actually create the new document. I can also come in here and place in this document other slides from my presentation or an existing web page like I already have here. Okay? When I run this one, what it's going to do, you push the mouse filter, notice it turns to the hand, knowing it's showing it's a hyperlink. In fact, when I first put it in there, it'll actually give the actual URL under the hand. You see that? When I click on that, it'll now launch the web page that I've hyperlinked. All right? How to configure a wireless router. So, let's go ahead and start with that document that you downloaded, which is week 4. You're going to start on slide 11. In fact, let me put on the overhead instructions here. You're going to do slide 11, CK18 note, slide 13, CK17 note, and slide 15, CK19 note. Those 3 slides, 11, 13, and 15, are the 3 slides you're going to work on. I'll go put that on the board. So 11. So I want to move this out in just a second. 13 and 15. And you're doing 18, 17, and 19. That's it. Those 3 right there. This is the button. This is the texture. Button is 11, texture 13, and 15 is a hyperlink. Okay? And if you want to just start doing it now, you can. Otherwise, I'll do it with you here on the overhead over again.
So is the video supposed to go somewhere too?
Nope. Videos was last week.
Oh,
We just did the video. And in fact, the video was actually slide 10. We did that last week. I had you download the video, well, 2 weeks ago. I had the video ready for you guys to download already. Okay, so on this slide 11, I put the instructions of what to do exactly. If you read the note here, okay, you're going to add 2 action buttons. How do you do that? I'm glad you asked. Insert, Shapes, Action Button, Custom. So if you look on the overhead, Insert, Shapes, all the way down the very bottom at the very right is the Custom Action Button. That's the one you want to choose. All the way down the very bottom. So Insert, Shape, Action Button, Custom. Now, it's easier before you actually do any of that to make sure you know what you're going to do with it. On the first one, pretty simple. You're just going to run the calc program. But the second one, before you do the second button down here, make sure and highlight and copy this URL in step 2 where it says set up, the mouse hover one. Go ahead and highlight like I'm doing on the overhead. Highlight that URL and copy it. Do a Control-C to copy that URL in your computer memory, clipboard. Okay? Go ahead and do that before you do the second one. The first one you're okay. You don't need that one in memory, but the second one it's going to be easier than trying to type that in.
How do we find the
Why don't we
URL?
have the URL?
Make sure you expand the note. It's in there at the bottom. Make sure you're on slide 11. Go ahead and hit cancel. Double click on CK18. It's right there at the bottom. You have to highlight the whole thing. Not starting with HTTP, like I've done on the overhead. Don't highlight URL colon, just highlight the URL starting with HTTP. Highlight that whole URL before you begin this whole process of action button, okay? So let me go ahead and show you both the top and the bottom one, and then I'll walk around and help you as needed. So the first one, we're going to go ahead and click on the insert, shapes, and then which one do I want? Custom, good. Click on the action button, custom. And then notice I have a crosshair that shows up on the screen. All you need to do is left click and drag down right, kind of diagonally down right, to where I draw the button, kind of like mine there. This one is going to be a mouse click event. I'm going to run a program, and the program is CALC. CALC, and I'll write it up on the board too, it's hard to read. CALC is the name of the program that we're going to run. That's all you need to type in there, by the way. As soon as you've typed in CALC in the run program, go ahead and click OK. That right there. Now, after you've typed in CALC, you've clicked OK, go ahead and type in that box the word calculator. And all you need to do is click your mouse in at one time and type in the word calculator. It'll show up. What now? No, you need to highlight everything and copy it. Highlight just the URL part. You have the whole line highlighted. Start with the word HTTP. There you go. You're going to do Control C. Control C, remember copies. Good. What? It does? Okay. Okay, so go ahead and copy it. Now you're ready to go ahead and do the first one, which is the calculator. Do what now? It's in your computer clipboard, right? So go ahead and do insert.
Oh, you can't.
Shapes. All the way down the bottom, custom button. Go ahead and draw the button like I've done on mine on the overhead. Yep, left click, drag down right. Drag down right. Then release. You're going to click on Run Program. Type in CALC. Click OK. Put your mouse in the box. Click in there one time. And start typing in calculator. Okay, that's the first action button. The second action button, go ahead and do it again. Insert, shape, and I'll do that together. Okay, let me do the first one with you guys together on the overhead. So let me start over on this one. Everybody ready that needs help? Ready? Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Insert, shapes, action button. I'm drawing the button. The dialog pops up. You click on Run Program. Type in the word CALC, and then click OK.
Okay, I'm all back at shape.
Bottom right, where it says Custom Action Button. Nope, you're clicking on the down arrow. Yep. Then draw the button, start at the top left, work your way down. Then release. You're going to Run Program. And type in calc. I have it on the board in green. CALC. And then click OK.
I'm confused. I got that
Bottom right,
shape.
right there. Yep. And let's go to, okay, go and click on shapes again. Oh, yep. Bottom right, that little blank, the blank under action buttons. Click on that. Now see the crosshair, draw a button. Just kind of left click, drag down, and release. Not that big. That's okay. And go ahead and go to run program.
Now draw another
Run
box.
program.
Go back up here to insert.
CALC.
Shapes. And go out to the light box.
I'm getting ready to do the hyperlink one in just a second for the website, and so hold on if you need help on the second one. You go and click OK. Okay. We'll click once here and type in the word calculator. How are we doing over here?
Good.
I couldn't even
Yeah, I skipped ahead, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Okay, now let's do the second button. And thank you for helping each other. The second button is going to be on the start information. So let me finish on here real quick. All right. So let's go to the second one now. You should have copied, by the way, before you go to the second one, make sure you've copied the URL in your computer clipboard memory. Highlight it, Control C.
You can only do to the www.
Okay, well I can fix it later if it shows up.
Double up the HTTP.
Yeah, we'll fix it if it shows up. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to Insert, Shapes, Custom. Again, draw the button. This time we're going to go to Mouse Hover, or Mouse Over, and we're going to go to Hyperlink to, scroll down to URL. And let's go ahead and do a Control V to paste in that information. If you do Control V, well, mine didn't double up for some reason.
No, it does once you click OK.
Nope,
Well, it did.
not on mine. Must have been special on yours.
Mine too.
Did on yours too? Okay. So it should put that in there as a hyperlink. You click OK. Click once in here again, and we're going to type in the word setup here. And then do a Shift F5 to test that page. A Shift F5 to test that everything's working. Calculator, the first time you'll get this prompt here, guys. You want to enable all, not recommended. That's the one you want. But here's the, if you look, regardless where you're at right now, if you look on the overhead, you will get this prompt anytime you have an action button the first time, okay, on Windows. You want to enable all. Notice now the calculator pops up. The second one, if I hover over the setup button, it should launch the website, how to configure your wireless router, wireless network. Okay? So let me come around now and help those that need help. Go there. There we go. Texture background. You're going to have fun with this one. Modify the background to be textured. Now I told you earlier, and you may do so, when you right click on this slide, any slide in PowerPoint, go to Format Background, you have the option to change it to different backgrounds. I can do gradient, picture or text, pattern fill. So I'm going to let you guys play with either picture or text or pattern fill, those two. Notice on the picture or text, if you click on this texture drop down, you have all these different options for texture. On pattern fill, they give you these options for pattern fill. Okay. When you do select pattern fill and even the texture fill, it'll give you color schemes that match your theme. Okay. Mine's white and blue for pattern fill, and then also for the texture, you want to select a lighter one as well to match the color scheme. So you guys can either do a pattern fill or a texture fill, either one. Doesn't matter. Just play with either one for a second. Make sure and do not click the apply to all. Just hit the close button once you're satisfied with your selection. Okay? After you've done that, Control S. How are we doing there? Pretty easy? Easy breezy on that one? A little easier than action buttons?
That was easier than the
Okay, yeah. Control S on that one once you're finished. Who's still working on that, on the texture one? Okay. Just kind of look at me when you're done and I'll know when to continue.
went to save it and wouldn't let me.
Do what now?
I went to save it.
Yeah.
Save it and wouldn't let me. So this is what I did.
That's because you never saved it as your first initial last name initially. Hit save as. Double click on favorites. Double click on desktop. Double click on desktop. Rename it your file name to first initial last name. Click save. Okay, how are we doing over here?
So you can close, you have to do control S, you have to close the box.
No, you don't. Well, if you will go ahead and right click on that again, you go to background, change it to something else, if you would. Click the close button. There we go, Control S, and then it should be okay. All right, so now we're ready for slide 15. Everybody ready? Slide 15? Yes? No? Okay, slide 15, we're going to go to note CK17. This one's the most difficult part. No, just kidding. You're like, no! Okay, slide 15, we're going to do the question mark. And before we do the question mark, we're going to be able to click on this picture and go to a website. So, but before we do that, double click on CK19, and let's do this because I know it's going to do this on some of your computers. Just highlight the www dot past the www. Okay, like I'm doing on the overhead, just to save the duplication for some of your computers. So we'll just highlight the www and copy that with Control C. Then we're going to right click on the picture, go to hyperlink, and on the address, Control V, and it did put the HTTP in there for me. Once you put the paste in there, the address should then be the one that we just copied.
Where do we go to put that?
You're going to go to any of your slides that have a picture and right click on that slide, and you want to add the hyperlink.
I'm getting a move here.
It should be on slide 15 if you're using the week 4.
Just do control C right there.
Then click OK. Do a Shift F5 to test it. Once you hover your mouse over it and left click, it should launch a web browser. Okay, so let me come around and see how you're doing there. And upload that to week 4 exercise Dropbox. So let me go there real quick. So make sure to go to week 4. If Eagle's already timed out, which it probably did for most of you, you'll have to relog back in. Go to the week 4 in-class exercise at the very bottom and submit your week 4 like Ray Johnson already has. And Ray's not here tonight because he's sick, so he did his earlier. And so submit it like Ray did. And then next week, before I forget, next week, make sure and bring your rubric with you. I know you guys have been gone 2 weeks. So I'm guessing some of you might not have all of week 3 completed maybe by tonight. I know you didn't have your video, right? Didn't have that. But if you have other components ready for me to check off tonight, but video, if you don't have the video, remember I told you I think 2 weeks ago, if you didn't get the video done by tonight, don't worry about it, because I knew we'd probably have to go through it like we did tonight. So if you want to get your rubric out real quick, I will check that before you leave. Just kind of check off like I always have you do, that you've got whatever done on your rubric. Anything that's not checked, you have to complete by next week, okay? Now, if you look on the overhead, what we're completing by next week on your capstone is adding a texture background, an action button, and a hyperlink. The rubric components fulfilled are texture background, action button, and hyperlink. And as always, just put in there, I have completed, and in the title, put your first and last name. Okay? And so let me come around, if I could, and check off your rubric.
Yeah.